Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Decoding Your Superpowers. I am on my own today. Linda is busy. So, Linda, you're here in our hearts and our energy. I want to thank everybody for being here. Rather than skip this week, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Instead of decoding someone else's strengths, I wanted to share why this work has become such a big part of my life. Maybe you'll see a little bit of yourself in my story. So, for years, I questioned my own voice and my own value. I often held back. I second guessed myself. I wondered if I really had anything worthwhile to contribute. Now, looking back, I realized I spent a lot of my life looking outside myself for validation instead of trusting what was already inside of me. Then I retired from teaching, and whenever someone asked me to introduce myself, I'd automatically say, "Well, I'm a retired teacher, blah, 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 blah." And one day I stopped myself saying that, and I realized while I was incredibly grateful for those 25 years, I didn't want my identity to be based on who I used to be. I wanted it to reflect who I was becoming. So that question changed everything for me. But who was I then? So I started saying yes to new experiences. I became a laughter yoga leader. I explored essential oils. I met incredible people, and I grew myself exponentially. And then somewhere along that journey, I was introduced to CliftonStrengths. And for the first time, I wasn't focused on what I needed to fix. I was discovering the gifts. Let me back up because I do want to talk about my mentor. So once I was introduced to CliftonStrengths, eventually my mentor walked me through my results. And it felt like someone was holding up a mirror that I had never looked into before. So I didn't have to focus on what I needed to fix. I could focus on discovering the gifts that had been inside of me all along. And that was truly life-changing. It really was. Because not because that report told me who I was, but because it gave me a language for who I had always been. It helped me stop comparing myself to others. It helped me appreciate how I naturally think, connect, learn, and contribute. And most of all, it helped me trust myself. And, and that's why Linda and I are so passionate about decoding your superpowers. This isn't really about just taking another assessment. It's about helping people, women especially, see themselves in a new way. Because when you stop second guessing yourself and begin recognizing the gifts you already have, then everything starts to change. I know that is how it played out for me. You start trusting yourself, you stop waiting for permission, you make decisions with greater confidence, and you stop trying to be someone else. And you begin building your life around who you were uniquely created to be. Now, that doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means life becomes more authentic. And from my experience, that's where confidence begins. So today, my encouragement is simple. Instead of asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Try asking instead, what's right with me that I haven't fully appreciated yet? And that simple question changed my life. And maybe it will change yours too. So thank you for hopping on with me today. It's just a very short one today. But if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to take one small next step. If you've never discovered your unique strengths, I'd love to help you. If you already know your Clifton strengths, then keep joining us each week for Decoding Your Superpowers as Linda and I continue helping people see themselves with fresh eyes. Or connect with me and allow me the privilege of introducing you to your gifts that have already been there. You can also listen to my Evolving Women podcast series over on YouTube, where I have conversations that encourage women to trust themselves, grow with confidence, and create a life that truly feels true to who they are. There's amazing women that I get to talk to in every episode. And if today's message made you think like, I want to understand myself better, then I'd love to invite you to take my free 2-minute superpower quiz. It's just a simple first step towards recognizing the gifts that make you uniquely you. Now remember, the goal isn't to become someone new. The goal is to understand, appreciate, and trust the person you've been all along. So with that being said, I will see you the next time on Decoding Your Superpowers, and Linda will be with me. Bye-bye.